Recently, India has suffered from an eventful time with another scandal. A Su-30 MKI warcraft of India Air Force crashed in Maharashtra state at 11:50 a.m. local time on June 27th. Two pilots got injured when landed by parachute. The first trial flight of this type of warcraft in India finally ended up with a crash to the ground. However, the trial showed at least that the ejection seat on the plane could be helpful in an accident. As an air accident-prone nation, India has already been well known for the air accidents. In the past 40 years, more than 1,000 Indian aircraft have crashed. On average of 2 crashes happened monthly. Various airplanes crashed in India were imported from different countries, but most of them were made in Russia, among which Sukhoi Su-27 fighters, Su-30 fighters, and various training planes and copters are included. Among all the crashed planes, about 500 MiG-21 fighters have took almost a half. Why the air crash in India is so frequent, today we're going to talk about it. Aviation flight is an activity with high safety requirements. Pilots are selected through strict tests. However, according to media reports, it is even easier to get a pilot license in India. A trainee can get his pilot license without any obstacles as long as he takes a 35-minute practical operation. On May 22, 2010, the crash of a Boeing 737 of Air India in Karnataka cost a toll of 158 people. And the origin of the misfortune was a pilot falling asleep during the flight. This is of course an accident happened in civil aviation domain. The quality of warcraft pilots must be a little bit higher, right? But in India, it is not an efficient improvement. Otherwise, India Air Force would not suffer so many crashes. Besides excellent pilots, equipment of sound quality also guarantee aviation security. In terms of equipment, some may wonder why these planes, including Russia-made ones and Mirage jets from France, act up in India since they boast good quality and enjoy a lower accident rate in their homeland. The answer to this question will lead us to the famous Hindustan Aeronautic Company. This company, owned by state, is under the Department of Defense Production of India, also the only aeronautical manufacturer company. It is also known as the Pal to the Pakistan, the killer of Indian pilots, and also the Widowmaker. All these nicknames come from a reality that most crashed planes in India was assembled, repaired, or transformed by this company. Airplane, once being invited into factories of the company, will come to the final stop of its tenure, no matter how advanced it is before. Hindustan Aeronautic Company once assembled 2 MiG-21 fighters and overhauled 8 of that planes. 8 of the total 10 planes crashed. It also assembled 1 MiG-21 bis warcrafts, with 1 crashed later. It got 3 Sepcat Jaguar assembled and 5 overhauled, with 6 of them fell and broke them. The company also undertook the assembly of 1 MiG-27 and the major repair of 3 MiG-27 fighters, 4 Mirage jets, and 3 MiG-29. All of these 11 aircrafts didn't escape roads leading to crash, which is really shocking and frustrating. We must have heard something about India's poor defense industrial base. India is still clinging to the principle of importing is better than creating, which is worse than renting. Though the import substitution rate of weapons and equipment in India has increased by years, there are still more than 70% of equipment coming from abroad. Not only in aviation industry, the lack of key technology also exists in the 3 armed services, including the Navy, the Army, and the Air Force. What's more, problems could be found not only in the equipment manufacture, but also in the upkeep of weapons. But India is so weak at this. In that case, India indeed faces a boulder on the way leading to high-quality warcrafts and a sound upkeep of these planes. And essentially, personnel comes to be the core of all these issues. All advanced weapons and equipment are created and operated by humans. If the personnel fail to get more and more professional, all of the things we mentioned above are only empty talks. In 2016, India met a population of more than 1.3 billion. But the question is that 270 million people among that are illiterates. And the number would rise up to above 500 million, adding in the half-illiterates. However, an advanced national defense industry cannot operate without enough educated population. And the caste system of a long history also constitutes a challenge for India. Under such a system, one is grouped into a certain social class with little chance to break the destiny by his or her own efforts. Now the caste system seems to be abolished, but its negative impact on the Indian society is still going on. Furthermore, various language and characters and racial conflicts and so on hinder the development of the Indian national defense industry and even the whole country. But we cannot deny that India is still a strong power with a great influence in Asia, while we are prattling about it.